Hello, I'm John with Roadkill Incorporated, and these are a collection of the nastiest, dirtiest, most damaged and destroyed machines I have come across. I've been keeping them in a pile. In preparation for this video, I want to start doing a series called Will It Power On? To see if the worst of the worst is salvageable at all. To see if there's anything we can do with them. I'm not going to fully restore these, I just want to see what is left in the carnage and if they will power on at all. So let's get started. All right, we have an Apple iBook G4 12-inch machine. Yeah, pretty bad shape, no battery, no rubber feet. What's most significant about this is that someone added a replacement hinge. Yeah, pretty industrious of them, added another hinge on there, which actually makes sense because these guys, the hinges were just not stable. The hinges would snap all the time, and you'd also get this gap between the bezel and the screen, just really annoying because there's a lot of tension. You can see how it lifts up the machine when you move the hinge like that, and it would eventually snap the hinge. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that they would add another hinge on there. I never thought of doing that, but unfortunately there's a little more damage than a bad hinge. Somehow the shielding over the optical drive got ripped off. Don't you hate it when that just happens? And then the Wi-Fi connector is pulled off the cable, and you know, the airport card, keyboard, all that's missing. And then we have this unfortunate mess here. I don't know, someone took out their anger on the button, and this, yeah, not good. So anyway, let's see if it powers on. iBooks use these round connectors. Whoa, I don't know why that's going amber just on its own. Probably a bad, wow, that's very strange. Probably not a good charger, but wow. It seems to work even though it's a bad charger. And the machine powered on, it chimed. Now, iBooks and PowerBooks, they take a lot longer for the screen to come on. Oh, wow, we have a good screen. Yeah, they take a lot longer for the screen to come on. So if you haven't worked on one in a while, it's tempting to think that, you know, the screen backlight may be bad. Yeah, so this is OS 9.1. So yeah, this crappy old iBook G4 that has taken so much abuse is still functioning. It is a G3 500 128 meg with 15 gig hard drives. They don't make those anymore. And yeah, so success. And we'll move on to the next. All right, next up is a 13-inch MacBook Pro with some serious damage. Don't you hate it when you just drop your laptop and that happens? I mean, God, look at that. Yeah, I mean, if you gave me a sledgehammer, I don't know if I could do that if I wanted to. It's just insane. The screen is, you know, coming off, obviously. Wow, yeah. So 2009, got the silver instead of black brackets, 2.26 Core 2 Duo. I put a sticker RAM in there just to have something to work with. Yeah, there's that again. Wow. So let's see what we can do with this. Connect the power. And we have no light. Sometimes if you wiggle it around, try a different one. Ooh, look at that. Oh, you gotta love MagSafe. So unreliable. So we'll power it on. And we have a light. We have a light. Okay, it's blinking. That means no battery or battery is bad. Oh my gosh. Wow. Obviously a bad screen, but wow, to take that kind of damage and to still be alive, it's fascinating. It really proves that, you know, computers don't go bad on their own. It's really people who do the damage. Computers, they're trying as hard as they can to stay alive, and we just demolish them. But amazing that this is still a functioning machine. I'm pretty impressed. So, not to be outdone by that 13-inch machine, this 15-inch Pro thinks it's got something interesting going on. Yeah, look at that. Looks like a mouth. Crazy damage. I mean, it's like almost an inch off the desk just from the bend of this dent here. Wow, look at that. Crazy. Bad trackpad, obviously. Bad screen. Let's see what it looks like under here. Wow. Yeah, no getting a hard drive in there. The cable might be good. Oh, no. This part of the cable's torn off. Let's see, there's a tear there. Oh, the board has just been smashed inward. Someone used a hammer or something on that, and it's torn right there, too. Yeah, this board is not going to be worth anyone's time. Ugh. Fan is smashed down, optical drive is smashed in. It's a 2011, you know, because the connector comes in diagonally, but the socket is missing. So, yeah, really sad machine. Someone took out their anger on this guy. Let's see if we even get a light. The RAM slots are damaged, so I wouldn't be able to even get RAM in there. No light. Let's try another one just for fun. Yeah, no light on this guy. So 15-inch Pro, go into the scrap pile, sorry to say. All right, so here's another 13-inch Pro. Looks pretty nice, actually. Hard drive cable coming out the side. So let's see what we have here. Oh gee, there's no computer in this computer. Yeah, no keyboard, no board, nothing. Bad screen. So yeah, this is pretty much junk. Yeah, one of my pet peeves is when people who sell computers count something like this as a computer. You know, I got some news for you people. If it doesn't have a board, it's not a computer. You don't get to count it as, you know, one of a lot of 50 machines. Sorry, it's just junk. So yeah, obviously not going to try to power this on because there's nothing to power on. And oh, it has liquid damage too. So anyway, on to the next. All right, 15-inch aluminum Pro. These were around from 2006 to 2008. Let's see, this one's got some damage. You can see that they ripped it open trying to get the hard drive out, as a lot of people did. Some damage over there, you know. Couldn't be bothered to use things like screwdrivers. Yeah, you can see the hard drive's just gone. And then we've got some pretty significant damage here. This is, oh wow, someone practicing their alphabet skills. That's good, I guess. 2.16. This is a Core 2 Duo. You can tell by the 1 gig sticks of RAM. There is a Core Duo version of this machine. I think it was one of the first MacBook Pros to be released. Yeah, so let's see here. So this is pretty bent up. Let's see if we get a light even. No light so far. And we'll try this one. And still no light. So I'm going to call this scrap. These have a DC board on the left and then a fan, and then they connect to a larger board, the main board on the right. So if the DC board has physical damage, it could be that the main board is still working. But this is an early generation of these. No one wants a 2.16 Core 2 Duo. If they want an aluminum Pro, they're going for the 2008 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 machines. So no one's out there looking for this, unfortunately, so I have to call this scrap. All right, yet another 13-inch Unibody Pro. Very dirty. I can see something in the DCN there. Very dirty. The screen does not seem to want to close, and that's because probably the battery pushed the trackpad out of the machine. And then you also have this problem. Someone drilled a hole through the computer. Strange. I don't know. They must have not had a bottom case on there, because they got a hole here and they got a hole here, but it doesn't go through the top. So very common for recyclers and others to drill machines. I've seen thousands of machines drilled at once. It's just a really irresponsible data destruction method. You know, you're sacrificing the whole computer just to get rid of the hard drive. You can see the reflection off of the hard drive platter in there. And yeah, so there's a screw there. Let's get the screw out. Okay, got that out. Wow, look at that DCN. That is not a nice DCN. Looks like it's been hanging out in the yard. So I will clean this up with alcohol and magic eraser and be back with you in a second. Okay, so I cleaned things up. Still not too pretty, but cleaned up a little bit. See if we can get a light. I kind of doubt we will. Just nasty computer. I mean, look at this. It still looks wet. I don't know what got it wet, but pretty bad. Let's try a different. Whoa, we got a light. I have to say, I shouldn't be powering on with a swollen battery, so don't try this at home. It just makes the battery worse, and you don't want to make a bad battery worse. Wow, we do have a light though. So, wow, we have a light. Huh. Really? The battery's not good? That blinking light is telling us bad battery or no battery. Wow. Wow. Look at that. We have a screen. It's broken, obviously. So I still don't understand this right here. They must have gone in from the bottom, but they didn't. They got the glass, but they didn't get the screen itself. It's very strange. I'm hearing a sound. Kind of a tone like I don't know what that is. It might be a physical mechanism in the optical or the hard drive trying to move but not being able to move. So wow, yeah, that's surprising. I'm going to take the bottom off and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so first view of the bottom. Look at that hard drive. They really went to town on that hard drive. Someone really had some fun with that hard drive. Look at the shavings, just pieces of hard drive everywhere. Look at that dirt. How do you get dirt in a computer like that? Or corrosion or something. Chunk of the hard drive right there. How this powered on, I have no idea. Probably have good RAM. Two 2 gig modules. That's cool. I'll take probably the only salvageable thing in here. So that's nice. Battery doesn't look too swollen. So I'll take the battery out and I'll be back in a second. So yeah, the battery is actually pretty swollen. You can see this here. Not the worst I've seen by any stretch, but significantly swollen battery that pushed out that trackpad. And yeah, significant corrosion. I mean, this board is triumphant. This board did power on, but due to the significant damage, the corrosion, the rust, I've got to scrap this anyway. No board repair person's going to want to look at this, and it's just too dirty. It's going to be too prone to problems. And it's only a 2010. You got the black brackets. So impressive that this powers on, but yeah, still not salvageable. I think all I'm going to take out of this are the RAM modules, which I'm happy to have. Next up, we have another 15-inch unibody, and this one is extra special. It has physical damage, plus it is just possibly the dirtiest machine I've ever witnessed. Just caked in dirt. Just, I don't even, yeah. It's got the curve in the side that we've seen before, but this one literally just filled with dirt. I mean, yeah, I think this was buried outside and dug up 5 years later or something. So I'm going to clean out the DCN and open it up, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so I cleaned out the DCN. I'll probably have to vacuum the floor after dealing with this one. But yeah, it's pretty hopeless. Sad to see it's a 2012. You can tell because the clasp is round rather than flat. But yeah, so much damage and corrosion that it's not even worth connecting to power. Got this bend here. The battery's probably bent, it looks like. Yeah, just a really sad case. Hard drive might work, memory might be okay with some cleaning up, but unfortunately this machine is a lost cause. So moving on. Okay, so next one is an A1181, an original white MacBook, and it looks like the owner was an artist, which, you know, I'm always happy to see. Yeah. But, ooh, yeah. So, I don't know. You can see fragments of metal stuck to the screen magnets. Yeah, I just don't know what to say with these. It's obvious that these were literally dragged through the dirt. I just don't know how that happens. How does that happen to a laptop? Or how does that happen to hundreds of laptops? So the DCN is filled with dirt again, so I will clean that out and be right back. So I cleaned out the DCN and I got absolutely no light. So I decided I wanted to go into this machine and just see what it looks like inside, see what could be causing the problem. I couldn't undo the 3 screws on the inside of the battery compartment. They were just completely like corroded into place. So you can look in here though and just kind of see part of the problem. Yeah, no wonder that this would not power on. Yeah, liquid damage, lots of corrosion, oxidation. Ugh, bad stuff. So anyway, this one's not too bad. This is a 15-inch aluminum Pro. Interesting feature of this one though is that someone decided to rip the cells out of the battery without actually taking out the battery. You just pop these up and the battery comes out, but they felt like they'd rather rip the cells out than just remove the battery itself. So I don't quite get that, but hey. So this is another 2.16 Core 2 Duo, so not a very desirable machine really. This isn't in bad shape. I don't know why I put this one in this pile. It's relatively good condition. But yeah, let's see if it powers on. It's got a Canadian keyboard. I hate Canadian keyboards. You just can't sell a computer that has a Canadian keyboard. So power it on. No power, it seems. I think I'm destroying my AC adapters by trying to power on these horrible computers. Oh, we got a light. There we go. Oh, cool. And this one has, some of these get these really brown screens. Just, I don't know if it's screen burn, but you get this really awful brown red tint. And then the more you use it, the more it goes back to normal. So that definitely, this one definitely has that going on. But it does power on, so success. Here's the 13-inch Unibody Pro. On first glance, not too terrible. Just a smashed trackpad, smashed screen. But the screen hinge is just really stiff. I mean, it's obviously got something in there that's causing it to be stiff. And then, ooh, yeah. So not good. Like the previous one, they decided to rip out the guts of the battery without just taking out the battery. Well, there is a screw there. Maybe they didn't have a tri-wing screwdriver. So yeah, they did leave us the bracket for the hard drive. That's nice of them. But yeah, I'm not even going to connect this to the charger. Yeah. So there's this one. Yet another 13-inch unibody. So obviously we've got a screen hinge issue. Yeah. What is that about? Smashed screen, a little bit of dirt, I'd say. Yeah, someone was a little impatient with that screen hinge, I would say. They also took a hammer to the optical drive. The board itself looks okay. I put a 1 gig stick in here just to see what we can do, and I'll connect the power. Oh, we have a light, and we have a fan, and we have a chime. I'm not expecting video on here. just because of this situation, but yeah, I'd consider this a victory, that this board would work at all. Looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I'll probably salvage this one. Alright, so now we have the dirtiest iBook I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen thousands and thousands of iBooks, so that's really saying something. This is an iBook 12-inch G4. You know it's a G4 because it has the slot-loaded drive instead of the tray-loaded drive, and also because it's a solid white color as opposed to the translucent color that the G3s were, although this is hardly solid white. So yeah, let me show you the underside. It's really pretty impressive. It almost looks marbled, like you know, they sell that stuff you can put on a surface to give it that marbled look. It almost looks like that's what's going on. Yeah. So on the inside, it doesn't look too bad. 800 megahertz, 60 gig drive, combo drive. So it's not a DVD burner. Airport Extreme. On the inside, it looks pretty reasonable. So let's connect my defective charger there, and wow, we have power. We do have power. So remember, with these older machines, the screen takes 5 or 6 seconds to light up, if it's going to light up. So let's see if it does. Wow, yes. So it's a bad screen, kind of a glitchy screen, but it does work. There's a bug there. Yeah, so at least the board works, the machine as a whole works. It just needs a new screen panel. So consider this a victory. So here we have a 17-inch Pro and A1297, I believe. Someone really took out their anger on this thing. Smashed screen. I don't know how you even get dents like that. Yeah, looks like they just smashed the whole thing. Really pretty incredible. So, yeah, it's hard to show, but this is all kind of pushed in. Covered in dirt, too. So, taking the back off, the screws were hard to remove because a lot of them were kind of smashed. Doesn't look too bad. 2009, you can tell because of the silver brackets there. Inside, it looks pretty clean. I mean, obviously the bends and stuff looks pretty clean. 4 gigs of RAM. Yeah, let's see if this guy powers on. Fragments of glass everywhere because, of course, it's been shattered. All right, and we do have a light. Will it power on? Let's see. Now you can see that this is sort of at an angle. That often means there's something stuck in the DC in that can cause it to not power on. And sure enough, you can see the DC in is just filled with gunk. You can kind of scrape that out there. That's an obstruction that, you know, was not letting it power on, so I'll clear that out. So I cleared as much as I could out with magic eraser and rubbing alcohol. It's not a perfect cleaning solution, but it's pretty hard to do. So still no power after cleaning out the DCN and making sure the DCN was even. So the next step is to try the power on pads, the silver pads on the board that can jumpstart the board if the power button is not good. If the if the keyboard and power button have been fried, then it's an alternate method of jumping the board. So they are right here. You can see these little silver pads and where it says power button next to them. So what I'll do first is disconnect the keyboard cable, which is underneath this little guy here. If the keyboard and power button are damaged, it can cause a short if the cable is connected. So you want to disconnect the cable and then jump the pads. And I use tweezers. Woo, it's hard to show this, but you just bridge the pads like that with tweezers. And it is not working. You know it's not working because the fan is not spinning. If it was working, the fan would spin, the board would power on, just like you press the power button. But unfortunately, it's not. So I think this machine I think the board has further issues due to the severe damage. So unfortunately, I don't think this one's a go. And I want to be clear that when I say a board like this is toast, I don't mean that it can't be repaired. I just mean that I don't do that kind of work. I don't do board repair. But a board repair person certainly could probably fix this. It's just that I process, 500 machines a week, so it's not practical for me to do that kind of work. Economics does come into play too, though. I mean, this is a Core 2 Duo, fully working and in mint condition. It's probably not worth more than $200-300, and any self-respecting board repair person is going to need to charge $100 or $200 or $300 for a board like this. So it's tough, but it's just not realistic in most cases to do board repair on older machines unless you just happen to have the skills to do it, and you can do it quickly. My approach is to take boards like this and just sell them in batches of 20, 30, 40 to people who do board repair. I'll sell them super cheap, and they get a good deal. They can fix the boards, and then they can put them out there. But it's not realistic for someone like me to do difficult repairs like this. All right, next to last, we have a 15-inch aluminum PowerBook, and this one is unique in that it is literally filled with leaves. You can see the mud there on the screen from the keyboard. If you clear away the leaves, you can see it says PowerBook G4. That distinguishes it from aluminum 15-inch MacBooks, which say, MacBook Pro. Yeah, these also look different on the underside. That's the memory cover, that's the battery. So different configuration than the 15-inch aluminum Pro. Yeah, let's see if we have power. Got a light. Wow, I could hear the power on sound. No chime. I'll see if I can reset the PMU. Before the SMC, there was something called the PMU, the power management unit, and you get that by just holding in the power button. Oh, and it worked. I can hear the solid chime and the sleep. There's the flickering sleep light, which indicates the PMU has been reset. Trying to see if that'll get the screen on. I don't know. This screen may not work. Wonder why. Anyway, I would consider this a success just because we got some sign of life at all, really, considering the circumstances. All right, and last but not least, a 13-inch black MacBook, which, whoa, kind of have a chunk out of the screen there. That must have been hard to do. Wow. Yeah, trackpad is having some issues. Dirt everywhere. It's beginning to be a common theme. Whoa. Never seen a top case that just kind of looks sort of clean in there. Not too terrible. Wow. Yeah. That is really something. So let's see. Looks like it might have a drive. The bracket's in here. The memory's in here. Oh, that's not good. Okay. So I will power it on. Yeah, the DCN needs some cleaning, so I'll be back with you in a second. So I cleaned out the DCN and I connected power, and we do in fact have a light. We've got a green light there. This just sort of came off, so it made me realize, the power button's connected to the keyboard and this connects to the computer, so there's no power button to test if this is good. So I went and got another top case that's, actually not covered in dirt, and I'll connect this now. Okay, got that connected. So now I'll press the power button and see if we have a spinning fan. Whoa, we do. We have a spinning fan. This board is alive. Despite all of this carnage, the board is alive. So, yeah, I didn't hear a chime, and I don't expect to see video, but again, just the fact that it's actually a living computer is pretty darn impressive. All right, well, that about wraps up the first episode of Will It Power On? So I think I've got it right. These are the ones that powered on. These are the ones that didn't. The ones that powered on won by about 3 inches, I would say. So that's pretty good. And it really goes to show, like I said, that I think the machines, they're pretty tough. You know, they want to live. It's really only due to us barbarians beating the crap out of them that they finally fail. You know, I don't think most computers die because of GPU issues or design issues. I think it's mostly us humans who are ending their lives ultimately. So anyway, I'll keep collecting stuff like this. Perhaps I'll do another episode soon, and I'm gonna go get the vacuum and vacuum up some of the dirt that's all around here. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later.